Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
We'll start with the scoop today, data extraction part. Because before working with a MapReduce, right, before processing any data, that data has to be there in your platform. Then only you can analyze and you can process them. If data itself is not present, then what you will analyze? So whenever you work in real-time industry, okay, or for any project, first step is a data extraction. We'll have to extract data and especially the historical data. So Scoop has a limitation, I could say, that it can only extract historical, not a real time. So Scoop can extract or migrate historical data, not real time data. That's one point. Now, Scoop is doing this thing, right? Scoop, SQL plus Hadoop, the combination of Scoop is, and it is writing this information in HDFS. It is taking this data from RDBMS. So we need to bridge between these two different databases. We have to create a bridge so that data transfer can happen gracefully between this platform, database, and the data management system, I can say, or file management system, I can say. This is a file management storage. Now, Scoop is fitting as a utility right here. Scoop is fitting as a utility right here. And Scoop is a tool which is written in core Java. So this tool is written in core Java, and whenever you submit anything, it internally creates one jar class file and uh, .java file, right? So it is actually decreasing our total effort, total time, that I'm not writing jobs for every Scoop query. I'm calling RDBMS, getting the data and writing back to HDFS, right? So this all three things are installed in which server? RDBMS is installed in my local server. Okay, this is in my Mac 10.14. HDFS is installed in CentOS. This is running top of CentOS 6.4. Scoop is also running in CentOS 6.4. So this is the server, or this is the operating system where my services are running individually. Now, Scoop needs a Scoop needs to create a bridge, and that bridge they are creating based on the driver. And the driver which we are using for this communication is a JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Okay, so using this JDBC driver, okay, there are four types of driver: JDBC, ODBC, Open Database Connectivity, then Native API, then Thin driver. Okay, since this is written in Java, that's why I'm using Java Database Connectivity. What this will do? So this JDBC driver I need to keep inside the Scoop library. So let's understand the basic architecture first, then anyways we're going to do the practical part of it. Now this JDBC is a part of a Scoop library, and it is requesting to RDBMS. It is requesting to RDBMS to get the metadata. It is requesting to RDBMS to get the metadata and writing back or giving one acknowledgement that yes, communication is there, right? So RDMS is not directly writing to HDFS. It is communicating first to Scoop, and then Scoop will do that on behalf of HDFS. What this will do? This will import that record, whatever record I'm taking it from RDBMS. So let's say I have some table in RDBMS. So I'll open my RDBMS. This is my host operating system. So I'll refer host and guest as we go forward in this scoop part. Remember, whenever I say host and guest, we have two different things here. I'll connect with my server using the password, which is root. So databases, then this is a pure SQL query, right? Use any database. So tables, I have so many tables and I will run a query on this one table. Select a star from, let's say table name, dim customer. This table is already present and we have seen how to do DDL, DML and DRL. Now I need this data first. The full snapshot of this data is stored in my HDFS directory. And to do this activity, I'm taking a help of RDBMS. I'm taking a help of Scoop tool. So this is the flow, guys. This data is present in your local server. In real-time system also, everything is not stored in one server. Maybe this RDBMS is installed in a server, say Mumbai. This is in Mumbai region. And second, where I'm extracting this data in HDFS from this using ETL tool, and that ETL tool is our scoop. So this HDFS can reside in some other location. Maybe this is in Singapore. So we need to check many connectivities before extracting the data. I'll have to check the communication first. If communication is there, then I need to grant the permission. If it is granted, then I will run a scoop extraction query. Then I'll see whether this is working. It is sending the data packet or not. If it is not sending the data packet, then obviously few port number is not allowed. If you know which port number sends your data from one server to second server or one region to second region, that protocol name is ICMP. If I go to deep dynamics of any communication which is based on this protocol, Internet Control Message Protocol, using this ICMP request, they continuously send the packet. What do I mean by packet? Every packet has some size. Okay, so let's say they're sending one row at a time. So they will send this one row as a form of packet. This one record will go as a form of packet. Then similarly, second row will go, third row will go, fourth row will go. I'm just taking one example of row. It can have a size of 3 bytes, 6 bytes, 8 bytes, 10 bytes. Now whatever data is there, suppose that this data size is 100 bytes. So 3 bytes, how many times it will go, you can understand using this protocol. And whenever there is one communication, there is one acknowledgement also that yes, I have received that data. Otherwise, this system will never know the data transfer is working properly or not. So when you communicate from your system to any other system, you always get a acknowledgement. If acknowledgement is not there, this reverse call is missing. So your confirmation is missing. You're not sure that whether data is extracting well or not. Okay. So this is what we need to set up first for this scope. And to set up this in a scoop, what I will do, these are my steps. My step number one, get the IP address of this machine get the IP address. And which IP address? Because when I say IP address, there are multiple IP address in a single system. Okay, so make sure you remember this point, that this IP address is VMNet1, Virtual Machine Network 1. I'll show you that how many different IP you can get. Okay, how many different IP can be there, and for that I will open my terminal. You guys can open your command prompt to check the same. So once this is open, I will type ifconfig, and from beginning if I start reading, this is one IP address which is a local host, then this is second IP address, this is some Ethernet, then there is another IP address VMNet1, there is another last IP address is VMNet8. Now you want to communicate to your virtual machine currently, which is my Cloudera, right, in my system. So I want to communicate to this machine from this machine. That's what I'm calling as a host and guest. So this area is my host area, and this area is my guest area, right? Now I will check that whether this IP can communicate from this machine or not. If it is able to communicate from this machine, my network transfer will work. If this is not communicating using ping operation, then I need to check couple of things that I will tell you. If you are doing the same and getting some exception, so what you can check, get the IP address VMNet1 from host machine. This is my host, guys. Okay, currently this is my host. In your case, Windows is your host machine, and ping host machine IP, ping host machine IP from guest machine. Get the IP address first and then ping the host machine IP from guest machine, because I need to extract data from this system to this system. I need to extract data from this system to this system, and this is my host again, and this is my guest. Okay, let me do that first. So I'll write the step one by one and start doing their practicals. I'll open terminal and recommend you also. I think you both have got access of LMS. Let me show you guys. Okay, how let me show you how you can access. I think yesterday I was having some question from people that how things will work. So you just need to log in there, okay, to this website. Click on this login. If you have created an account, since you both have created an account already, I think, so give the name in your email ID. Dashboard. So I have currently declared that name as my self-paced course certificate. Already you must be having that in your bucket. Go and check your account first. Any problem you can write me down. So if you want to watch any videos, I can just go to that module and click on this 1.x and 2.x. So this is how it can be started. Whatever session is there, I'm currently uploading in this section. Okay, so you guys can watch it. And currently we have seen 3.x also, so definitely we'll be having. let's say you are practicing. So this is your my note. Okay, we have given this feature, my note. If you want to write something, the scope is ETL. Then you want to write the scope is ETL, and it extracts history data. Likewise, you can do, guys. You can start editing this. If you want to delete, you can click on this. If you think that this note is not required, you can delete this. And once this is all done, like let me write another scope uses by default for mapper. I'm writing this information. As I practice this, I can download this in my local machine. And once this is downloaded, I can open this. This is my information which I have written today. Scoop, along with the date, I can manage this. Scoop is this, and it uses this information. So try these things, okay? And uh, let me tell you these things also. Instructions, curriculum, you'll find what all the informations are there. Forum, if you want to discuss anything. Support. So if you're practicing and getting any issues, right from here, no need to contact personally anybody, okay? There's a whole team sitting. You can select your problem statement, whether that is a technical problem, non-technical problem, general discussion. Let's say you said this is a technical problem. You can type the title. Scope is troubling me, okay? And you can write your description. You can attach your file and you can submit it. One ticket will be generated, and that ticket you can track. So support team will continuously give you update on that. Now study material, this is currently here. All the study material get, all the things will be updated in this module wise, that what is the study material for Hadoop, what is for Scoop, what is for Hive. So all things are in one disk, one drive place to make things more easier. Check this and let me know if still some problem comes. No, Swapnil, download option we have not given. Download option is disabled from there. If you want download personally, then I need to send all those things in Dropbox. If you want to download the files, I can share it with you, but from website we have not given that option. All right, so let's go to next now. After getting this IP address, yeah, uh, get the IP address. And where is my IP address? Yeah, this is the IP address, right? VM81 first I will take. If this is not working, you can go with you can test with the other IP like VM8 and other. So I'll take this one first. Control C and ping from here. Ping with this IP. The moment you submit this ping operation, you start getting the 64 byte from this IP address, ICMP sequence 1, and this is continuously going. Sequence 1, 2, 3, ICMP is the same protocol. TTL is the total time travel time. So they're taking fraction of second. If you see this, this is 1.49 millisecond, okay, which is definitely a 1 million of your 1 million fraction of your second. Very very fast, and the performance is very high here. Any data transfer we have done, so zero transfer we have done. Okay, their data transfer is not there. I'm just currently communicating from my host machine, guest machine to host machine to check the data transfer rate. After doing this first step, your system is working. Let's say you are unable to do this. You are unable to ping from your host machine to guest machine. Then Then point number two, this is your debug point. So let me write it as debug and troubleshoot area. First point, if you're unable to communicate from guest to his host using IP address, check your firewall. First thing, check your firewall connection, whether firewall is on or off. Okay, you can click on off if it is on and retry again. Okay. Second, if still it is not working, check your ports. Check your ports. There's two things you can check it. First one is your firewall setting. Second one is your port setting. If this is not this is in place and still you are unable to communicate, then we have to check few BIOS setting options. Okay. I'll not recommend you to go with the BIOS because if you make any mistake, your whole system will be corrupted. So don't go to BIOS without any instruction. Uh, First, you can check this 2 point. Still you are unable, let me know. Then we'll see other point how we can communicate. So debug point 1 and 2. Now point number 2 from my actual step. Let me write this as A and B. This is A and this is B. Point number 2, grant or before granting, download JDBC driver because we are communicating from this machine to RDBMS using a driver called JDBC. So this JDBC has to be a part of your scoop library. Now this JDBC will download based on our database, what database we are using. If currently I'm using MySQL, so I will download driver related to MySQL JDBC. If I'm using Oracle, I will download related to Oracle, PostgreSQL, Netezza, MicroStrategy, etc. So from where I can get that, uh, from where I can get that JDBC driver, let me write the title. Download JDBC driver and keep inside scoop library. Scoop library, and I'm writing that path. This is the path of this scoop library. User lib scoop lib. So when you're downloading this driver in your, let's say, host machine, so you'll have to copy this from host to guest because this scoop is not installed in host. This scoop is a part of your guest operating system. So from here to here, if you want to communicate, okay, from your Windows to CentOS, if you want to communicate, you'll have to use a WinSCP software for file transfer, just like the way we did for jar file in IntelliJ, right? Similarly, you'll use a WinSCP FileZilla to copy from your host machine to guest machine. That's what you need to do. Download JDBC driver, keep inside scoop library, and this is the fixed directory. Can we do practical for this? So I'll go to my host, open this, and search for MySQL JDBC driver for scoop. Write this name. We can click on I think we'll get here also. And this is a community box. I'll click on this link. Then this will take me to JDBC driver location. Now, again, one thing to remember here, compatibility. If you download different version of MySQL, if you download different version of MySQL, as in you have installed this as 8.0, let's say, and you're using this JDBC driver, I'll say MySQL JDBC driver to make a bridge. If this is used with a version 5.6, this communication will not work. If this is 8.0, this has to be 8.0. If this is 5.6, this has to be 5.6. That is why I'm talking about compatibility. Compatibility is a big thing in Hadoop, guys. Always remember the version whenever you practice, because this will save you a lot of time. If you make a mistake while setting the environment, you'll screwed up searching things here and there. You won't understand what is the problem, because debugging in Hadoop is very difficult. We it's not that we have some ready-made solution. We'll have to go and find out, okay, this is the place. We'll have to check lot many things here, because this is a bunch of ecosystem. We need to check many connections from one system, second source, third destination, and then we reach to some conclusion. Okay, so I hope you understand my point. And which file you need to download? You'll have to download this file, MySQL connector Java 5.1 48.tar.gunzip. Download. Let me see if this is there in Pervertech website, so that will be easy for you. I think it should be there. Online softwares. Support. Okay, it looks like this particular jar is not there, but that's okay. You can download it from here, and you can copy using WinSCP from here to your Cloudera server. Now, step number second is done, and this is already done in my case. I'm using CyberDuck to copy the file. You will not be able to write directly to this directory, cd user lib scoop lib. This is the directory in Cloudera. Okay, so you will not be able to do directly this thing, because this user lib is a admin directory. This is a root directory. It can only be accessed by admin. So you'll have to grant a permission if you try to win SCP in this directory. So what you can do first, you can copy in your desktop of Cloudera, and then from this desktop you can move it to this directory. That will work. If you get still permission denied, you know the solution. Sudo is a super user. So using this super user command, you can get that file and copy inside user lib scoop lib directory. Okay, so this is one. Can I check using lslrt command? The last file, if you see, guys, this is my file, my connector Java, and this is the version of MySQL also. In my case, it is 5.1.26. So I've exactly downloaded the same supporting version. Okay, because I know that it can trouble me actually if version is not matching. Once this is done, then third step, you need to grant the permission. Currently, what we're doing, we're not extracting the data. Currently, we're setting up the environment, that how data extraction will travel. Then, and this is a one-time activity. Okay, you're not doing this every day. This is just a one-time setting. Third, in real-time environment, again, this is all set. In real-time system, in your actual cluster, this is all set by default by administrator. Third one is grant permission to vmnet1 IP from MySQL. So grant permission to VMNet1 IP from MySQL. What is the command to grant the permission? This command I will run in my MySQL workspace. This is known as a workbench, by the way. So you have two things to access MySQL. One is a terminal and second is a workbench. Workbench is easy and editable, especially for beginner. So if you're not liking terminal, you can install this in your machine and you can start working with the workbench. Or if you're good with the terminal, you can run all the command. Whatever I'm running, the same command will run in your terminal also, which looks like a black box. Now this is a command. Let me write it first, then I'll explain you one by one. Grant privileges on star dot star to root at the rate 192.68.41.1 identified by, and the best part guys, this is all case insensitive. So if you're giving uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't make difference. Identified by password of your MySQL, which is root in my case, with grant option. Now, what this command is doing, okay, I forgot one more keyword. There is all, grant all privileges. So when you're getting any error, you know that there's some problem in the query. So I'm asking my MySQL that can you please grant all access, all privileges to star dot star. What does this mean? The first star, the first star means your username. The first star is a username. Okay. So let's say I have currently three users. I have one user as Nilesh, I have another user as Ritu, I have another user as Swapnil. Three user is created in my SQL space and I want to give access only to this user. So what I will say here, I will write here this name, the exact name dot. This star, the second star is for database name. Database name. Now here we have many database, right? Here I have a database PRWA. Here I have database health care. Here I have database people. So this different databases are there. Now I want to give only access to this database. I don't want to give access to this database, so I'll write here this database name, and then this user will get this database access. Star dot star means all user, all database access. I'm giving full permission to everybody. So currently it is okay, but in real time, obviously we check these things, and based on this, we define our access. To root, this root is your username of MySQL. This root is your username of MySQL. This is the IP address of VMNet1. VM stand for virtual machine. Identified by, this is your password of MySQL. MySQL password. And we are saying with grant option. So the moment I run this command, automatically I will get full access for all the database and all the username. So I think you can read it now in English what these commands are telling you. Can we submit all this line, select and submit it. So when you submit, you get this yellow mark that yes, this is warning can be a deprecation that you're using the old version or old command, but that's okay. This is running and that was my requirement of third query. Grant permission to VMNet1 IP from MySQL. This is the this is the option, and this is the query point. Using this, you can't access. So far, setting wise, I'm done. This three step is more uh, important. Okay. Now, next point is I will extract data, and for data extraction, I need to know scoop arguments. Guys, trust me, scoop is very important in form of Spark SQL can also do the same thing. They can also extract the data, but two thing which is inbuilt in a scoop is not present in a Spark SQL. So it depends. Many company using Spark SQL to extract the data. I have personally used in Barclays. We were using this scoop to extract the data. Currently, in my real-time organization, uh, we do not have any historical data. We have all the real-time data. So we use Kafka and Kinesis to pull up data from web server to our system. Kafka and other things I will take one by one. Those are separate topics when we go and read about real-time data. After third point, uh, I'll write this in the next page, scoop arguments. This is important. You need to remember all this argument. Scoop arguments. So first is import. That's what I'm doing. Importing data from RDBMS to HDFS with the help of a scoop. This is the query import. So import is communicating from RDBMS to HDFS. Now, this import can do how many things? Let me write the cases. My case number one, it can extract one table at a time. One table at a time. It cannot take you multiple table. So I'll answer all your question, okay? One by one, if you're thinking, okay, I want multiple table, I want few column, I want all the record, I want few records, I want to compress the data, I want to encrypt the data, I want to serialize it. So almost 20 to 25, 22 to 25 queries we are going to see in this part. This will take 2 to 3 days more to complete the scope section. So it can extract one table at a time. So one table at a time, when I say I'm extracting whole record, say currently I have this result available in my dim customer table. All the result is available. Now I need all this result from here to HDFS. This can be my first case, extracting all this table data from here to there. Now second case says, okay, I don't want all the result. I want only result which are gender as male. I want those result only which are having value in their gender column as male, which means this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Total 5 records out of 7 records. I can put a condition where gender is equal to M. I can extract this data also. Then my third case says, now I don't want all the column. I don't want all the column. I want only column number 2 and column number 3, 4, 5, column number 5. I just need this C2 and C5 in HDFS. Import can do that also. Then you say, okay, this is terrific, working for all. Now I want to test with, I want to get the result from this number to this number, 8 to 11. Can I do that? You can extract data only this 4 rows. You can do this also. So you just tell me that you want to do this operation. I will do that behalf of you in the system. So scoop can actually deal with all the problem statement, and it can give you all the command in your HDFS, in your cloud system, which is running on CentOS. Gracefully you can run all the commands. Okay, can I run now? Enough theory. Let's go and see the practical. So my job is to import this first. Other arguments we'll see. What's this? And I can call it from anywhere. Okay, if you want to see, okay, where is that import and other arguments running in this machine? This is a part of your bin inside scope. And while discussing or setting up the cluster, I have said this all the part. That's what I'm trying to connect all the dots. So if you watch my previous video, you will be able to understand things well. That whenever you set anything, three folders is important: bin directory, conf directory, and lib directory. Inside bin library, we have all the executable file. Inside conf, we have all the configuration, that XML setting. And inside the lib directory, we have all the dependency, all the jar file. I've shown you already this lib part where my JDBC driver is residing. I've copied there, okay? It's not by default present. You'll have to do this activity. And then I'm checking currently this bin thing. Let me go to bin and do LSLRT. When I run LSLRT, I see my one script written or present in scope is the scope import. I will use this currently. I'll tell you other one by one. So currently I'm using this scope import. Clear the screen and run this. Scoop import. I'm doing import currently. Scoop import. Then hyphen connect. This is my connection URL. What I'm going to write is my connection URL. Hyphen connect. JDBC is my driver name. What is the database name? Database is a MySQL. What is the IP address? 192.168. If you forget, okay, what is the IP? No problem. You can go back to this, and this is the IP address, right? Which I have granted recently. This is your VMnet1 IP, right? That IP. And what is the database name? We have many databases. Now you said you want data from healthcare, or let's say you want database Parva. Then username, and what is the username? This is root. Username of your MySQL. Okay, don't make a mistake here that you are giving username of Cloudera. Think logical, because you want to extract data from MySQL, so you'll have to give this username of MySQL. Then similarly, password, hyphen password. And guys, this is a problem, I'll tell you. Actually, you should not write. The Scoop also recommend, though they have given the option to you guys that you can directly apply this password. So I am giving this password as root currently. Now, if you ask me, okay, so I'm working with the sensitive industry, my data is related to banking, and if I'm doing this data transfer, from banking, from this banking firm to HDFS, how secure? If you're a client, you'll ask me, how secure is your system? Okay, my first question is, what is your security level? How many encryption point you have? One level encryption, two level encryption, three level encryption. What is your encryption level? If this is not supporting, I will reject your company and I'll say I don't work with you because my data is not secure. So this is an important point to remember, that how you will provide the security. And I should not write the password like this, because if I write the password and anybody does the data transfer, they can hack my any packet in between. Okay, most risky point of data leakage is what? Whenever your data travel from one server, okay, one server, this is one server, to second server. I'll repeat again. Your data feel or finds more security problem when you're transferring this from this machine. This is the time when anybody can hack this data packet. Anybody can hack this data packet and do the disaster for your company. If this is password is known to me, I can do anything, right? I can log into the system and I can destroy the box. I can take all the backup. I can take all the backup and I can from backend I start calling these people. From backend I start calling these people. If you have seen, there are many series in the Netflix also related to this data breaching policy like Jamdara. What they do, they have extracted this data and they start calling from backend. They are taking the backup and they start calling from backend that, sir, can you can you please give me this is can you please confirm this is your card number. They'll tell you everything and they'll ask you, okay, I'm sending you an OTP and can you please confirm that OTP. If you confirm that OTP, money is deducted from your account. Okay, so we want to secure the system. I'm giving this example to you all because I want to secure the system, and I will give here encryption, which is just -p. When this will ask me to write the password, I will write that time, not now. Now, so far you have written what? From this point to this point. This is a connection URL. This is a connection URL. So you're trying to connect with your system first, right? If this is connection URL is working, then the other command, other things which I'll write one by one will work for you. Can we try writing that? So which table I need? Hyphen table is equal to my table name. What is my table name? Dim customer. Then where I want to write this, I need a target directory. Okay. Now Scoop uses two things by default, which I will write in point number as a note. And please remember this 2 point, guys. So this note you should always make also for your reference when you watch a video. That's why I have given one specific point, that is my observation, and I asked my developer to write and give that feature my note so that you can write all the small points and keep in your local machine for your reference. So when you open next time after 2 months also, you remember, okay, this is the point, and using this point my Scoop can work. First point, Scoop uses by default HDFS directory to store. Scoop uses by default HDFS directory to store the record. And what is that directory? What is the HDFS directory by default? This is user Cloudera. This is the directory, guys. Here by default your table will be appended. So what is the table name? Your table name was dim customer. That table will be appended here with directory name. You'll see /dim customer, and there you'll see the data. If I'm not giving any target directory, so it uses by default HDFS directory to store the record, and this is the directory location. If I do not write it, then second, Scoop uses by default number of mapper. Scoop uses by default 4 mapper and 0 reducer. 4 mapper and 0 reducer. What is a mapper and reducer now? That's what I said. We'll be referring HDFS and MapReduce every now and then. Now again, I'll go and create this design. HDFS is my storage layer. HDFS is my storage layer. I can call it as a central repository. All the data I'm storing right here. Then second is yarn, which is giving me computation related to CPU and RAM, and this is known as a computation layer. And third and top is MapReduce is there, Spark is there, TEZ is there. These are all your application layer. This is all your application layer. Now, where is the scoop here? The scoop is sitting right next to this. Scoop is say there, and scoop is using HDFS location to store the data. Whatever data they're extracting, they're storing in HDFS, and where they're submitting the query. The query is submitting on MR, MapReduce. So you're writing a query in Scoop in a form of this, but internally that query is converting into key value pair and then following all the strategy of MapReduce, which is what? If you remember, flow of MR. What was the flow of MR? We had input, we had input split, then record reader, then mapper. Total 10 stages are there. Then combiner, then partitioner, then shuffle sort, then record writer, then reducer, and last is my output. So we know that this HDFS input is stored in HDFS, and this is stored in HDFS, the output. But from this step, from input split to reducer, this everything is working inside Node Manager, which is 19888 port number. Win this point from MapReduce. And this is the reason your scoop is extracting the first point which I have written. A scoop can extract or migrate only historical data, because MapReduce is not designed for real-time data analysis. MapReduce is designed for historical data analysis or extraction or transformation. So this is the reason. Okay, everything are connected. So just be logical, think about this flow, okay, and read all the point, so you'll be able to connect these dots. Now, can I say this scoop is an ecosystem? Can I say this scoop is an ecosystem because scoop is using HDFS Hadoop component. When I say Hadoop component, guys, I mean two things, right? My first point is a storage point, and my second point is a processing. Storage, I'm using HDFS, and processing, I'm using MapReduce. Okay, so whenever you run any query internally, and this is why the point number 2 is important. A scoop uses by default 4 mapper, but why we are having 0 reducer? Because we are not doing any aggregation in a scoop. We are extracting the data and writing back to HDFS. So we'll run this query. Okay, we're running out of time today. We'll run this query in this form tomorrow, and we'll see how data can be extracted using scoop and HDFS.